What you're talking about isn't by and bus enforcement of the street hails rule. Okay. All right, good. Let's talk about this, and let's talk kind of honestly here among each other. There are 22,000 licensed livery cars. There are not call-ahead dispatches for 22,000 cars. We don't really know how many, but there's probably dispatches for somewhere between 10 and 15,000 cars. And the rest of the business is street hails. I mean, the reality is that in northern Manhattan and in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Staten Island, liveries are routinely picking up people off the street. Now, they're doing that because the yellows are not there. I live in Brooklyn. Their yellow cabs are not cruising around Brooklyn looking for people. If you get out of the subway at Nostrand Avenue and Eastern Parkway, there's no yellow cabs there, but there are livery cabs waiting for passengers. If you get out of Kings Plaza Mall, there's no yellows waiting there, but there are liveries there. If you get out of Coney Island subway, if you get out at probably 15 or 20 active subway stops around Brooklyn, and it must be another 20 in Queens, there's no yellow, there are liveries there. And the same at the malls, and the same on Flatbush Avenue and Tremont and Queens Boulevard. So, and the yellows aren't there, but there are people who want to flag down a car and get home fast, or get where they got heavy bags, or whatever it is. And we have for years we've basically tolerated that the liveries do this. And what the TLC is saying is, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to pretend that something isn't happening when it's happening. People have to follow the rules, but the rules should let this service be provided. So what Mayor Bloomberg has proposed, and what the TLC proposed, is that livery cars should be allowed to pick up off the street as long as they get some of the taxi equipment. So a roof light, a meter, and the meter is controversial. I've had people tell me it's terrible, it's crazy. I've had other people say it's great, and of course, and I think if you ask passengers, overwhelmingly they would say they want to have the meter. That people don't want to have to, when they get in the car, negotiate back and forth every time they get in the car. And it's part of what makes it safe. And it's part of what makes it reliable. And the roof light lets people know it's legitimate. First of all, it lets you know it's a taxi and lets you see it 2 blocks away and flag it. But also, part of it is creating the sense of comfort and legitimacy that know it's safe and know it's legitimate. So that's what we have proposed, and I think it's a good solution. We don't want to have to ticket people, but we do want people to play by the rules. But the rules then have to make sense. If you're going to say you got to play by the rules have to make sense. So this has to go to the city council, and I don't know where folks live. I know we're here in Harlem, but I'm guessing people live all around the city. What I would ask for your help is in helping us persuade the city council that this is a good idea. And maybe there are some yellow drivers here. We've had opposition from the yellow, at least medallion owners, honestly from drivers too, who say this is going to take away our business. Now, I'm sorry, I left out one key part. What we proposed is that this would only be for outside Manhattan. Now, we could do northern Manhattan too, that we could discuss, but it wouldn't be Midtown, it wouldn't be Midtown, downtown, which is where the yellows are making their money, would be only for the yellows, would stay only for the yellows, period. But outside of that, at Kings Plaza, or at Queens Center Mall, or in Cambria Heights, or in Pelham, or in Coney Island, where there are no yellows, then it doesn't hurt the yellows to let the liveries provide that service. It doesn't. And it helps both the liveries to let people do it honestly, and most important to me, because as much as I see you as customers and constituents, we work for the public, that's my goal. Mostly, it helps regular people who want to be able to hail a cab in neighborhoods around the city. And so I would ask for your help in getting the city council to understand that we can make the rules make sense without hurting the yellows, but that would help people around the city. And that's the real answer. You know, yeah, we do buy and bust on the street hail because that's the rule. But the only way to I don't think it's a good answer to say we'll just not enforce the rule. I think the answer is to make the rules make some sense. And I really would ask for your help in that.
Thank you. léegi nag lu tax ñoom ñun ñi ay mukallaf ñu def fot ci ñoom ñi koy teg ñeneen benn nit ku nekk bañ ma bindalee ticket bindal bees bi ticket bind owner bi ticket owner ne yaa doon dawal man maa ko fay sama bos amul lu ma fay sama milliard est-ce que moom 1988 2004 ñu ne ma am nga ñetti ticket ci at mi dañuy suspendre sa licence maa ngi koy laaj bu ñu suspendre sama licence ma jógee ak lu ñëw fii dafa bëgg ma dem welfare tëdd wala nan laay def.
So he became very angry and upset. He started by 1988. 1988, 2004, he only took ticket. He believed he was stopped, the customer filed, and 4 tickets were written for something. So he believed TLC only doing the job for themselves but not helping him. He came here from Africa working very hard. People are very unfair to him. TLC wanted him to get out of business and go on welfare. So here's a guy who's very frustrated. The rule hasn't been set to him. So he obviously he can convincing that TLC are enforcing rules and regulations, but it's not picking on him.
Okay.
And the suspension issue also, because his license might be suspended.
Right. So I think for an individual case and getting an answer about why you were suspended or what the tickets were for in your case, again, if you get the information on your license number and history, we can then follow up with you directly. On the issue of is the enforcement fair and even-handed, and does TLC suspend when it shouldn't? I think I can say with confidence TLC isn't out to single out any particular drivers. I spend a lot of time at Woodside with our enforcement folks. They're pretty hard-working people. Do they make a mistake sometimes? I'm sure they do. But, in fact, too many of our tickets get dismissed when our judges are actually, I think, quite fair, judging by the evidence for that is a lot of the summonses do get dismissed once it gets to court. So once it gets to the taxi court, or LJs, so we kind of recognize if an inspector has written a wrong ticket and toss it. And the way we are constantly we're looking for good inspectors. So if people think maybe want to come to a different side or a different segment of the industry, we always need good inspectors, and I would encourage you to reach out to the TLC on that. But on suspensions, I think our rules are fair. We suspend when the driver gets too many DMV points for driving traffic violations. We suspend if there's a drug test, if the driver fails a drug test or fails to take it. We suspend in a very small number of cases when a driver is arrested for a crime that involves violence or a firearm. Those are the categories that we suspend, and I think those are all situations in which it's appropriate, and we should be protecting the public. Again, on the specifics of your individual case, I am happy to commit to you that if you get the facts or just even your license number of the association, somebody will call you directly to explain what we think is happened.
Okay. So, xaaral ma précis kon li ma doon wax noonu waaw damay bëgg a wax rek ne li mu expliqué noonu mooy the right way to do it for specific situation. Like in this case, I have someone who used by mistake the red 4. Tell me he used it by mistake few times.
Red 4?
The red number 4 on the yellow cap.
Oh, red 4.
Red 4, yeah.
Red 4.
That situation went to TLC. The guy traveled to Africa. While he was there, judgment was taken against him, and his license was revoked, or the final decision is on your desk. Explain the situation in this paper to hand it to him. So, if one is in the case, it's the same.
If you can collect them all, and that way you can hold us responsible for getting the information back, and you can know on behalf of your people here that we answered the question. Okay?
waaw c'est-à-dire que li ñu bëgg a wax rek mooy am na ci kees yoo xam ni comme bu Keba Ndiaye bi 88 ak léegi sori na lool te gudd na buñ ko fi bëggee expliquer duñu fi jógee te moom aussi du xam li mu tontu ku ci am kees yu gudd yu garaaw yooyu nee na nga ci association bi jox leen sa information président beesu Arlem bi def liñ soxla lépp ñu bind ko ci kayit jox ko dana ko baalee keneen ku ñëw aussi la même chose mais bu fekkee ay question spécifique yu ndaw yoo xam ni mën ko wax rek question réponse rapidement ñu def ko pour mën fi jóge mais buñ fi bëggee étaler moom ay problème u 88 jëm suuf buñ fi jóge daal donc ñu continue Babacar moo nekk ci kaw rek dégg la.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
I don't know where to start, but I'm very glad you mentioned about living the American road. We all want to live the American road, but right now the way they travel is really able to do only some. I drive a hybrid car. The car belongs to me in my park. It is the medallion from Ford Taxi. They're charging us every week $42 for hybrid, so charge any on done every week. The second one, they